Now it's time for the Rob Johnson Sports Show, presented by the Legacy Maker Sports Network. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Rob Johnson Sports Show. I am sorry for, I'm going to see if I can somehow get this together so you guys can see me. I'm at actually a different recording location today than I usually am. I've been doing some work today. Actually been doing some work at some different places. Been speaking, doing speaking engagements, stuff like that. So we only got 3 topics today, folks. Only 3 topics, that being ESPN's predictions for the 2025 NFL Draft. Now, these are not my picks for the NFL Draft. I just want everybody to know that. These are not my picks for the NFL 2025 Draft. But what this is I'm giving you all what ESPN has for their 2025 ESPN Draft. Now, what I'm going to do is give you the list and tell you all what's going on with it and what do I think. So, let's see here. Let me look. Okay, so let me pull the list up for you guys. And of course, you guys saw the thumbnail, so you know what's going on with that. Let me go ahead and see if I can pull that list up one more time. Give me 1 second, folks. Yeah, this is we are live, so let me go ahead and get that list up. Here we go. So, again, how you guys doing? Rob Johnson Sports Show, episode 59. Again, this is not my list. This is ESPN's early 2025 NFL mock draft for the teams who they think will be drafting these certain players. So, let's get into it. Number 1, we have the New York Giants selecting Carson Beck, quarterback out of Georgia. Number 2, they have the Las Vegas Raiders selecting Shedeur Sanders, quarterback from Colorado. I think his first 2 picks are very interesting because the Giants would have a chance to have Shedeur Sanders, but we'll move on. Again, we're just giving you all the picks. Denver Broncos, Will Johnson, cornerback from Michigan. Next, we have Tennessee Titans selecting James Pierce Jr., the edge out of Tennessee. At number 5, the Washington Commanders picking Kelvin Banks Jr., offensive tackle out of Texas. Number 6, New England Patriots, Will Campbell, offensive tackle out of LSU. Number 7, the Minnesota Vikings taking Mason Graham, defensive tackle out of Michigan. Number 8, we have the Carolina Panthers taking Luther Burton III, wide receiver, Missouri. He's a very underrated receiver. Let's tell you guys that right now. Again, this is not my list. For all you out there wondering whose list this is not my list. This is ESPN's early top 25 of next year's NFL Draft. Number 9, Arizona Cardinals taking Travis Hunter, wide receiver / cornerback from Colorado. And number 10, they have New Orleans selecting Quinn Ewers, quarterback out of Texas. Number 11, they have the Seattle Seahawks taking Tatora McMillan, wide receiver out of Arizona. Number 12, they have Tampa Bay Buccaneers taking Harold Perkins, linebacker, LSU. Number 13, they have Benjamin Morrison, cornerback out of Notre Dame, going to the Pittsburgh Steelers. At 14, they have Colston Loveland, tight end out of Michigan, going to the Indianapolis Colts. At 15, they have the Jacksonville Jaguars taking Emory Jones, offensive tackle, LSU. At number 16, they have the Cleveland Browns taking Abdul Carter, edge out of Penn State. At 17, they have the Chicago Bears taking Mikael Williams, edge out of Georgia. At number 18, they have the Los Angeles Chargers taking Evan Stewart, wide receiver out of Oregon. The fact they have the Chargers picking that late is kind of laughable, but we'll talk about that another time. At 19, they have the Los Angeles Rams taking Connor Wegman, quarterback out of Texas A&M. At number 20, they have the New York Jets taking Riley Leonard, quarterback out of Notre Dame, who was at Duke and now is at Notre Dame. I think that's a decent pick there. Number 21, they have the Miami Dolphins taking Deontay Walker, defensive tackle from Kentucky. Number 22, they have the Atlanta Falcons taking JT Tamaloa, edge out of Ohio State. Houston Texans at number 23, they have them taking Jonah Samania. Get back to my list. For some reason, my list screwed up. Let me go back to the list. I hate when these lists do this. Let's see. We were at number see where we were. We were at number 20 with Jonah, guard out of Arizona. Number 24, they have the Green Bay Packers taking Tyleik Williams, defensive tackle, Ohio State. At number 25, they have Cincinnati Bengals taking Isaiah Bond, wide receiver out of Texas. I like that pick. I really do. Number 26, the Buffalo Bills, Nick Scranton, edge out of Texas A&M. Number 27, they have the Cowboys taking Quishon Judkins, running back out of Ohio State University. At 28, they have the Philadelphia Eagles taking Mekhi Starks, safety out of Georgia. At number 29, they have the Baltimore Ravens taking Tyler Booker, guard out of Alabama. At 30, they have the Detroit Lions taking Emeka Abuka, wide receiver, Ohio State. At 31, they have the Kansas City Chiefs taking Anthony Belton, offensive tackle, NC State. And at 32, they have the 49ers apparently winning the Super Bowl, Johnny Cornelius, offensive tackle, Oregon. So those are your top 32 according to ESPN. Their top 32 mock NFL draft players. Now, your question is to me. I know people have already asked me. Said, Rob, when am I going to do my 2025 mock draft? I don't plan on doing a mock draft for probably, I would say, maybe the last week of August. Well, not last week of August, maybe the first or second. I would say towards the end of September. I need to see 3 weeks of college football. I need to see what's going on, and then I can give you my projections. I think that there are a lot of good players that aren't included in this list that are going to be in that list. This is just like kind of a rough draft because we haven't seen anybody play yet. So I want to see who comes out in college football and really balls out so we can start making those, penciling those things in, put them in the pen, who we think is going to be the best players coming out of this 2025 NFL class. I think the 2025 NFL draft is going to be very competitive. I think it's going to be a lot of good players. So if you are the NFL, if you're the college scouts, you better be on your P's and Q's because there's going to be a lot of good players coming out. So now let's go to the MLB update. We're not going to go through a lot of the games. We're just going to go through the standings as they speak today. So in the American League, we have the Baltimore Orioles. They are up 2 games on the New York Yankees. The Cleveland Guardians are up 6 games on the Minnesota Twins, and the Seattle Mariners are up only 2 games on the Houston Astros, and the Texas Rangers, your defending World Series champions, are 8 games back. In the National League, the Phillies are putting more distance between themselves and the Braves. A lot of the Braves people felt like by now the Braves would be, 2-3 games back. Braves have had injuries. The Phillies have just been a better baseball team. Let's just be honest about that. They are 9 back, and the Mets are 14 back. The Mets are gaining on the Atlanta Braves, while the Washington Nationals have kind of fallen down a little bit as they're 41 and 46. The Milwaukee Brewers are up 6 games on the Cardinals, 9.5 on the Reds, 10 on the Pirates, and the Chicago Cubs are in last place. That, folks, is a disappointment when we thought the Chicago Cubs were going to be a better product on the field this year. In the NL West, the Los Angeles Dodgers are up 6.5 games on the Padres, 9.5 on the Diamondbacks. But as you heard with me and Larry Patterson, we were talking about the Arizona Diamondbacks. Diamondbacks, if they get in, they are very dangerous. So do not sleep on the Arizona Diamondbacks. You cannot do that, not whatsoever. In the wild card, you have the Atlanta Braves, the San Diego Padres, and the St. Louis Cardinals. The next team that is that's not in the wild card is the Arizona Diamondbacks, the New York Mets. They're both 2.5 games back, and you have the New York Giants who are 3 games back. The Cincinnati Reds are 3.5 back, the Pirates are 4 back, and the Nationals are 4.5 back. You go to the AL wild cards: Yankees, Twins, and Red Sox. Who's the next up? You have the Kansas City Royals, who are half a game back. You have the Houston Astros, who are 2.5 back. So they're 2 back. They're what? Let me make sure I can check that again. Let me make sure. Yep, they're two back in their division. They're 2.5 back in the wild card. So more than likely, the Houston Astros will be making a trip to the playoffs, which is not good for a lot of teams who they know when they get to the playoffs, it's always trouble. The Tampa Bay Rays are still hanging around. 3.5 games back. The Detroit Tigers are 8.5 back. So right now it's a three horse race to try to get one of those wild cards from either the Yankees, Red Sox, or the Minnesota Twins. Now let's go to our quick WNBA update. Tonight we have 3 games. The Atlanta Dream, the Dallas Wings, Las Vegas Aces, Los Angeles Sparks. Then you have um, I'm sorry, the Chicago Sky going to Seattle. Um, what are my expectations? And I'll get to some of the Saturday and Sunday games with you guys, well, but what are my expectations? I do not know what to expect from the Atlanta Dream. The Atlanta Dream are one of those teams where, folks, I can't figure them out. I can't figure out the Atlanta Dream. I don't understand, because one game they'll play really well against a really good team, then they'll struggle. They're a bipolar basketball team. They've got to get themselves together. They are a lot better than where they are placed right now, and that being what, a 5 seed. Let me check that. Let me make sure they're a 3 seed, but they should be better than that. They're 7-11. This team is a lot better than 7-11. You have the Aces against the Sparks. The Sparks right now are hanging on for dear life. The Sparks don't have any hope, and the Las Vegas Aces have won 6 in a row. The Aces have won 6 in a row. The Aces have won 7 out of the last 10. Yeah, the Las Vegas Aces are back, and everyone's in trouble. Asia Wilson scoring at a historical pace. Chelsea Gray is back. Kelsey Plum is balling. People are in trouble. That's all I can say about that. People are in some trouble. We look at Seattle. Seattle has won 4 in a row. They've won 7 out of the last 10, while the Chicago Sky have won 4 out of their last 10. So they have won in a row. Angel Reese is 2 away from breaking Candace Parker's all-time record. Not just a rookie record, but an all-time record for double-doubles. Angel Reese has continued to play well, but it's bigger than Angel Reese. It's Trinity Carter. She has continued to show why she should be an all-star. And I'll say it again, Camila Cardoso. Cardoso has to play better basketball, folks. That's just all to it. Cardoso has to continue to show why she was one of the top picks in the draft, and I believe she will. She's still a rookie. She's still young. Mabry, she has to get her three-point shooting together. She's one of the keys for this team to really get to where they want to get to. Diamond DeShields, when she gets in the game, she has to make an impact. So that's how I look at it if I'm looking at the Chicago Sky. So if I'm picking my winners, I want to pick Chicago, but I have to pick Seattle. I'll go with the Dream. I'll give the Dream another chance, and I'll go with the Las Vegas Aces to dominate the Los Angeles Sparks, a once proud Sparks franchise. On Saturday, we have the Liberty against the Fever. They play at the Fever at 1 o'clock. That should be a good game, but I'm taking the Liberty. We have Minnesota against the Washington Mystics. I'll be completely transparent. The Minnesota Lynx have lost 2 in a row, and the Washington Mystics have been playing a little bit better basketball. But I'm going to give this to Minnesota. That's your Sunday slate. I'm sorry, that's your Saturday slate. Now, on your Sunday slate, the Sky go back to Seattle one more time, and they play the Seattle Storm on Sunday. So they play them Friday night tonight. They play them on Sunday. Also, the other games you have on Sunday, you have the Atlanta Dream, Connecticut Sun. That should be an interesting game. If Atlanta can win tonight, if Atlanta can win tonight, can win in Dallas, and then go on and beat Connecticut in an upset, I think that'll give them some confidence. Because as I said, this Atlanta team is a lot better. You got Tina Charles in that team. Anytime you got Tina Charles, you got a chance. They're a physical basketball team, and I think that they should play well. The Dallas Wings against the Las Vegas Aces, they have no chance in God's green earth. They got a better chance of taking ice where to hell and it's not freezing. They're not beating the Aces. Then you have the Sparks against the Mercury. If you're the Mercury in this game, you better not lose to the Sparks. That's all I'm going to say is you better not lose to the Sparks. Because if you do, then we might have to start talking about changes going to next year. Yeah, we might have to start talking about a complete rebuild in Phoenix because that team is way too talented, in my opinion. Ladies and gentlemen, that has been episode 59 of the Rob Johnson Sports Show. I told you it wasn't going to be too long today. Make sure you guys check me out today at 6 p.m. as I do Gold Standard Wrestling. I do a preview of Money in the Bank. Then on Saturday night, ladies and gentlemen, I have a special for you guys. We have a reaction show. Right now I have Darrell Owens and I have Larry Patterson. Now, I am going to put it out there today for people and say, hey, do you want to come on the show on Saturday night and give a live reaction? It's going to be passionate. It's going to be hard hitting. There's not going to be any hold. There's not going to be any punches held back. We are going in. And then on Sunday night, it is episode 60 of the Robb Johnson Sports Show. We will have that show around 8:50. And boy, do we have a doozy of topics for you guys. So again, thank you all for watching the Robb Johnson Sports Show. This has been episode 59. And before I go, the world thought I wasn't going to do this, but I had to go through all that because the world needs to hear what I need to say. I need to tell the world how I feel. So, you want me to tell the world how I feel? The way I feel is this, and I'll keep it short again, folks. Could the media out there who talks about the NBA, can you talk about something more than just Bronny James? We get it. Bronny was in the draft. But what about the other guys? What about the other guys who were in the draft? You claim that, oh, this is so horrible, LeBron drafting this kid. It's like the Dallas Cowboys. All you do is talk about them. So how in the world are you going to convince us that this is such a pain in your butt because you got to keep talking about it? Well, I mean, if you really ask me, folks, there's a lot of people out there in the media who really needs to send LeBron James his flowers because, quite frankly, without the Dallas Cowboys and without LeBron James, just what the hell do most of you really have to talk about? I barely talk about the Dallas Cowboys. Hell, I barely talk about LeBron James. But you, folks out there in TV land, and you know who you are, you have to continuously talk about these people. When you talk about the WNBA, you don't even break down the game because guess what? You can't break down the game like I can. You can't do it like me, Larry Patterson, Darrell Owens, other members of the Legacy Maker Sports Network. You can't do what we do because you're not as good as we are. Because here's the difference. You guys may be on television, but our time is coming, and that's my message. People like me, our time is coming. Our time is now because we're reaching a great audience who love what we do. But as we continue to grow, our time will come, and you will see us on these bigger platforms. Because at the end of the day, we talk about everything. We include everybody. We talk about all different varying amounts of sports. You guys complain because you say that all they talk about is the Cowboys. All you talk about is LeBron. Well, again, my question is this, and it's very simple. Without those topics, when LeBron retires, let's say the Cowboys go up to obscurity and they just start losing every year, like, you know, not even just winning it. Let's just say the Cowboys were to lose 0 games in 10 years, which will never happen. But let's just say they just keep on losing. You still talk about them? I guarantee you if the Cowboys right now lost every game last year, they'd be the same team you talk about. You guys don't even really talk about the Kansas City Chiefs that much. And they're Super Bowl champions. There are a lot of teams you don't talk about, a lot of players you don't talk about. So many decent players, good players in this past year's in NBA draft, and they can't even get a sniff of airtime because you're so upset because of nepotism and LeBron brought his son in. Don't get mad at LeBron James because he actually did something for his family, while a lot of you out there don't give a damn what you do for anybody else. So shout out to LeBron for what he does. Shout out to LeBron for being a man and taking care of his family. A lot better than what a lot of you do out there. Deuces.
It's caught in the crossfire.